This is Fatima Perez with CSB School of Broadcasting, and today we have a special guest, Christopher Coppola, with us today. We're going to interview and talk a little bit about Pah Nation. So, Christopher, what's Pah Nation and Project Access Hollywood?
Pah is something that I created about 3 years ago. It's a way to digitally empower the everyday person, which most of it, I mean, we're all everyday people, and that's part of the point. But we use video-enabled cell phones, prosumer cameras, and we help people tell their unique stories and develop their voices. And right now, we're doing this with CSB, the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. We're teaming up to do a mini Pah Las Vegas here right now as I speak, actually. And people are just storming in left and right to participate. I think that's awesome.
Christopher, so why do you choose the cell phone instead of the traditional cameras?
Well, there's two traditional cameras. There's the film camera, which if you're talking about that, personally, as far as I'm concerned, film is dead. Maybe around a little bit longer, but everything's going digital. So it's very important for people, everybody, to understand and be comfortable with digital, because if we're not, it'll control us and we won't be able to control it. But part of the reason why I do a lot of stuff with cell phones is that most everybody has a cell phone around the world. And like even in India, there could be like a really poor village, but there's somebody there with a cell phone. So if people use the cell phone more as a creative tool, not just as a communicative tool, which is important, but a way to develop their way of seeing things and use the cell phone as a paintbrush. Like, here's how my village is in India, or here's how I see the river in China. And you put it up on the web, you're really using digital technology in a way that's immediate and to communicate. So I do that because a lot of stuff that's on the web, excuse me, a lot of stuff that's on the web with YouTube and MySpace, it has its place, but a lot of it is really more narcissistic, and anything goes, and you have to look at a ton of stuff with, mothers feeding their baby corn mush, to get to something interesting, and there's no focus. And also there's a lot of stuff that is a little dangerous, like there's predators, and you never know if what you're seeing is really what it is. Someone might say they're a young lady, but they're a 100-year-old guy, when they put the stuff up there. But what we do is we actually go to towns and communities and we focus it to really use digital technology to tell people about what your community is like. Who are you? How do you see things? And because we're there and giving topics, we're making sure that it's the real deal.
Your logo has an old man smoking a pipe and a hat. Why have you chosen this image?
I really appreciate you asking me that question, because people sometimes forget about old man Pah. But I like to give a symbol with my ideas, and I like the idea of the old man on the hill that is willing to listen to everybody. Like, if you feel like you're being excluded, and Hollywood's very exclusive, if you feel like it's taking you a million times to get one thing going, the old man, Pah, he'll listen to you. What is it? What's your story? What do you want to talk about? But I modeled him after Mark Twain, his face, and he was my favorite American, and one of the Abraham Lincoln and Mark Twain are like the two big icons in a lot of ways, and P.T. Barnum, But Mark Twain said, and I paraphrase here, true greatness is when you help others find their greatness. And that really, it's being the great educator and not just, complimenting yourself and boosting your own narcissistic ego. It's to use what you know to help empower as many people as possible. So I created him because he's like the kinder, gentler Uncle Sam. Not that I have anything against Uncle Sam, but if you go around the world with this, Pah, who really is just there trying to help people and digitally empower them, it's a nice message too. And everywhere he goes, he changes his hat, to show a little respect to the community. So here he's wearing like a Frank Sinatra hat, in Vegas. And when he goes to Elko, he wears a cowboy hat, So, and in Germany, he wore a Hofbrau hat, and the whole thing.
And on a lighter note, this has been the best interview you've had, right?
She's very calm, very nice, sincere, so it makes it comfortable for the interviewee to interview with you. So for someone that's starting out, I would say definitely yes, you're a natural.
Well, I appreciate your words, Christopher. Right. Thank you so much for this interview.